Could Ukraine's strategic use of advanced weaponry and small drones tip the balance in the current conflict? As we delve into this question, we find ourselves at the heart of a complex and rapidly evolving military landscape. Recently, Ukraine has been ramping up its drone and missile attacks on Crimea, and with a clear aim to sever Russian supply routes from the peninsula to the occupied regions of southern Ukraine by targeting command centers, logistical hubs, ammunition depots, and the Russian Black Sea Fleet in the Port of Sevastopol. The tools of choice for this mission are predominantly the British and French-supplied Sorm Shadow Scalp missiles and an armada of small, cost-effective Mugen 5 Pro drones. The Sorm Shadow Scalp missile, a stealthy air-launched cruise missile, has been making its mark in the conflict, proving to be one of, if not the most effective, Western-supplied offensive weapon system. With a range of over 300 kilometers and the ability to carry a substantial and modifiable warhead, it can reach targets deep inside enemy territory, inflicting massive damage with almost pinpoint accuracy, thanks to its state-of-the-art GPS system and terrain mapping. Providing Ukraine with a potent weapon against well-defended Russian military and logistical targets, the missile's shape and low observable characteristics make it difficult to detect and intercept by current Russian air defense systems. In tandem with the Sorm Shadow Scalp missiles, Ukraine is deploying small Chinese-produced drones. These drones may lack the firepower and range of the missiles, but their strength lies in their numbers and their ability to overwhelm the enemy's air defenses. With the Russian S-300 and S-400 air defense systems operating in the area, the Ukrainian strategy appears to be one of saturation, overwhelming these systems with sheer volume of targets. In the early morning hours on the 26th of September, dozens of Mugen 5 Pro drones followed by Sorm Shadow cruise missiles crossed the Black Sea from Odessa and struck the headquarters of the Russian Black Sea Fleet, killing its commander, Admiral Solokov, and presumably 33 other high-ranking officers in the complex. Just 9 days earlier, the Ukrainians struck the Port of Sevastopol in similar fashion, resulting in the loss of the Russian landing ship Minsk and the Kilo-class submarine Rostov-on-Don. These attacks are part of a broader Ukrainian strategy aimed at disrupting Russian supply lines into the occupied southern regions of Ukraine. The ultimate goal, it seems, is to cause as much disruption in the rear of the Russian army as possible, so that Russia is forced to withdraw from these occupied territories. This strategy emerges against the backdrop of the now 16-week-long counter-offensive by the Ukrainian army on the Zaporizhzhia front, which failed to achieve its operational goal of reaching the strategically vital cities of Tokmak and Melitopol in order to split the Russian front in two and isolate Crimea through a swift and decisive military push to the Azov Sea. In conclusion, Ukraine's increasing usage of long-range cruise missiles combined with masses of self-produced drones in its attempts to cut off Russian supply routes from Crimea signifies a shift in strategic approach. This strategy, while not without its risks, has the potential to change the status quo and tip the balance of power in the southern sector. Especially if Ukraine receives further supply of these effective Western cruise missiles, including the German Taurus and the American ATACMS, it will ultimately succeed remains to be seen. Multiple factors, such as ongoing Western support for Ukraine, Russian tactical readjustments to the increased threat, and Ukraine's current stock of both drones and Sorm Shadows, play into the chances of Ukraine's strategical success. One thing is clear. The conflict in Ukraine is a vivid example of how modern warfare is being shaped by the strategic use of advanced weaponry and cheap drone technology. Seemingly invincible air defense systems are being overwhelmed by masses of relatively cheap and expendable civilian drones. Both Russia, Ukraine, and the West will need to look into financially adequate countermeasures to face such a new threat.